Hello, students, and welcome to the Secura Insurance presentation on information technology. My name is Stephanie Jacqueline, and my fellow virtual presenters today are Shelley Jentz and Erica Palmer. All three of us are business analysts within the Personal Lines IT division at Secura. First, thank you to the Fox Cities Chamber of Commerce for allowing us to be part of your annual talent awareness and career exploration event, Future Fox Cities. We're excited to be here today to share information with you about the IT department at Secura, specifically the Personal Lines IT department. IT is such an important field as advancements take us further into the future and give us capabilities we didn't previously have. In fact, this event is made possible today because of IT advancements in virtual platforms, which enabled the event to continue despite uncertainties surrounding COVID, and interact with you today in a whole new virtual and safe format. So, I will turn it over to Shelley to share how each of us got into technology. Shelley?
Thank you, Stephanie. So before moving into a technology role, I had worked doing many different things, including cosmetology. The opportunity to learn more about what roles are actually in IT came to me while I was working in one of the contact centers. I had a friend who is in IT and encouraged me to do some job shadows with some of the other BAs on the team. After sitting with some of the business analysts, I was impressed with the role that they had played on the team. And when the next available position opened up, I applied for it and had the opportunity to move into IT. That was over 10 years ago, and I'm still loving the role I have. Erica?
I'll go next. So my original plan was in college to go to pharmacy school to be a pharmacist in the hospital setting. But as I progressed through my courses, I realized that this was not the right path for me. So I finished my bachelor's work and I went back for an MBA. And while I was finishing in school, I took a position in the call center in the insurance industry. As I progressed through the MBA program, I really liked my IT courses. So I asked to get involved in projects during my time in the call center. So this allowed me to develop my BA skills while working on my insurance industry knowledge. So it became the next logical step given that insurance knowledge and my emerging BA skills.
For me, I started out in IT as a corporate trainer. I had the opportunity to work with the PC tech group to assist with rolling out new equipment. I also worked with the network group, helping them to configure the upgrade to Microsoft Office. This led to me joining a project team for a company-wide update to a sales program. It was this role really that led me to the business analyst role.
So we're going to talk a little bit about the different areas of our Personal Lines IT team. When most people think of an IT team, they think of a developer or a programmer. So there are some other roles on the team that also play an important part of the work that is done. One of these positions, a business analyst, or other known as BAs, are responsible for bridging the gap between IT and the business. The responsibilities of a business analyst are going to be discussed a little bit further on in the presentation. A quality analyst is another role on the IT team. The quality analyst is responsible for developing and supporting planning, design, and execution of all test plans. And lastly, the most well-known position is a developer or a programmer. This position is responsible for researching, designing, implementing, and managing software programs. So what type of work do we do? You can see on the slide, there's several different items listed there, and I'm just going to go through each one. So in our insurance world, a project can be a new coverage that we would like to offer our insureds. For an example, the one that was implemented for us recently was coverage for boat docks and boat lifts. Enhancement are any project changes or upgrades that increases the software or hardware capabilities. Production support is typically when a user is receiving an error when using an application. The user would document the error into a ticket, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later on as well. And that ticket is submitted to the team. The team then would assign and do the analysis and resolve the error so the user can proceed with their transaction. Rate changes. A few times a year, insurance carriers look at factors that may affect your insurance premiums. These factors can include your driving habits, demographic factors, coverages, limits, and even the deductibles that you choose. The premiums could either be increased or decreased during this process. And finally, our compliance projects. They are used to ensure that our organization is abiding by both industry and government legislation.
Looking at the different responsibilities of a business analyst, we gather requirements, update support tables, write test plans, test cases, execute the test plan, defect management, deploying to production, and production validation. Gathering requirements. The business area that we support will make a request of IT. They need to solve a problem or achieve an objective. As a business analyst, I will work with the business to understand what they need and document that in a way that our development team can understand the impact and what needs to be done. Updating support tables. As a business analyst, I assist the development team with table updates. The developer will update the program, and I will update the tables that support those programs. Writing a test plan and test cases. As a business analyst understands what needs to be done and tested based on the requirements they wrote. We work closely with the developer to understand the programming changes so that we can include testing to make sure that we don't break existing code. Once the test plan is created, the BA will write specific test cases to ensure we're testing the entire process. Once the development is complete, we will execute the test plan and begin running through our test cases in a test environment. Defect management. Once we begin our testing and uncover defects, we need to document the steps we took, including screenshots. This will provide the details back to the developer. Once the defect is corrected, we can use our documentation to help retest to ensure that the issue has been corrected. Deploying to production. As a business analyst, I help coordinate moving changes to production. We assist in gathering all documentation and approvals needed to make changes to production. And finally, production validation. Once the changes are live in production, the business analyst checks to ensure support table changes are live in production, and we also validate any program screen changes are visible to the associates that we support. So we have a test question for you. What is a requirement? Is it A, a solution, B, a business request, C, a condition needed to solve a problem, or D, a developer request? The answer is C, a condition needed to solve a problem. It's not A because it's a request, not a solution. It's not B because it's a request that can come from many different places, including some of the options that Shelley explained for compliance regulation. And it's not D because the developer, much like the business analyst, is supporting different areas within the company, not making requests. Modern Analyst defines a requirement as a condition or capability needed by a stakeholder to solve a problem or achieve an objective. A condition or capability that must be met or possessed by a solution or a solution component to satisfy a contract, standard, specification, or other formally imposed documents.
So you may be asking yourself at this time, what else does a BA do? On this slide, you'll find a list of some of the things you may not necessarily find in a job description, but are still an integral part of the BA position. The BA is a translator between the business and other IT associates. We really are that go-between for your business partner and IT. We have to have the ability to take complex IT language and translate it into an understandable method or terminology for our business partners so that we can have meaningful discussions. BAs need to be able to problem solve and think outside the box to develop creative solutions. The most dangerous phrase in language is, "We've always done it this way." The BA needs to be able to ask questions so that they can inspire change and uncover new methods of doing things. It's also the BA's job to not only write the requirements, but also question the requirements. This helps to further define scope and uncover unmet needs for the business partner. The BA in personal lines is also responsible for writing and executing SQL, which stands for Structured Query Language. This is a standard language of relational database management systems. We use SQL to help with business requests and gather information. We communicate within a database to give information to our business partners for their requests. The BAs are also responsible for working projects, but also sometimes managing projects. The BA is often the one that is making sure tasks are executed in accordance with the project timeline and facilitating project meetings. BAs will also help with cross-training as well as mentorship of new employees. Now, this can be new BAs or through young apprentice programs when high school and college students are interested in the BA role. Now, of course, we all like to take time to celebrate the wins, so BAs will also assist with celebrations that will go through successful production deployments. Now, because we have a variety of job responsibilities, we also need a variety of tools to do the job. So of course, we do use MS Office, whether that be Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Visio. We also use a tool called AQT, or Advanced Query Tool, to write and execute the SQL queries discussed on the previous slide. As discussed earlier, testing is a big part of the BA position. So we use a system called Qtest, which is a testing software. And we use this software to write, execute test cases, as well as track defects. Now, we also use a system called Workfront, and we use that for project management for our projects that we are working on. This helps with ensuring that all tasks for the project are accounted for and that we're staying within the project timeline. It was also previously discussed that part of the BA position is production support. So we use a system called ISM, or Incident Service Management. We use that tool to track incidents when the production environment is not working as it should, as well as requests if the business has questions or needs information from the database, as well as problem tickets that allows us to keep track of incidents if we determine that there is a larger overreaching problem. And finally, we use the policy management system. That's either an online web tool for our agents, as well as an emulator mainframe for the actual issuance of the policies.
So as Stephanie mentioned, sometimes as a business analyst, we have to translate what the developer said. So our quiz question for you today is, what did the developer say? We're building this web application using the Model View Controller architecture, leveraging .NET Core 3.1, C#, Vue.js, and a micro ORM for object relational mapping and data tier CRUD operations. So the translation, we're building a really cool app from the ground up, leveraging the latest and greatest technology tool sets. This will allow us to be more responsive to the business as new features or changes are required. Business analysts need to translate that tech speak to words the business or stakeholders can understand. We need to help them understand what is in it for them. Explaining it like this, they can understand and even start thinking about the future and what enhancements they might want or need. To be honest, a business analyst doesn't always understand the tech speak fully, but we know it well enough to ask good questions and translate it back to those who are outside of IT.
So this concludes our presentation today. We thank you so much for your time and wish you the best in your future career path.